Officially, I started working in lambre 16 years ago. In the beginning, I was responsible for selling cosmetics in Poland. I was building structures. It was a kind of part-time job during my studies. So I wasn't associating my future with lambre, but gradually, as my father started to involve me in more and more interesting topics, the matters of creating fragrances, creating products, trips to France and China, to our suppliers all over the world, I mean, obviously any young person would be thrilled. And then later it became my everyday life. Amusing situations with my father happen all the time. It hasn't changed for years. There are some situations to which I've already gotten used to, but others didn't. The one thing that always kept surprising and amusing me is his directness in all kinds of situations, in which most people wouldn't allow themselves such behavior. But for him, it opened many doors. Obviously, that's what I see from the perspective of time. When you look at this, you can see a comic situation when he barges in somewhere uninvited and after a moment he's the guest of honor. 16 years ago, lambre was definitely the main source of income for our whole family. We were, at that time, a rather poor family that couldn't afford much, and suddenly selling us cosmetics provided new perspectives. And when it became later, it's hard to even imagine it. I remember when, after the first year of the company's official activity, I wasn't working then yet, I was at school. My father came home, opened a bottle of champagne, and said that he has earned the first money, and told me that he wishes me, and possibly my children, that one day we'll be exporting lambre with trucks all over the world. Because back then it was a little business. Well, the first truck departed already 1 year later, so it shows us really well how quickly the perspective is changing. Our products in those times, well, I'll be frank, the products weren't looking that great. They didn't have anything that would draw your attention, that would make you say, wow, that's it. Already then, on the market, there were lots of brands that had exactly that wow effect. But our products had one basic advantage. They had quality, and in terms of perfumes, their fragrance was very long-lasting. So people wanted to smell good, and they wanted to spend money on something that would last long. I think the most important thing that I've brought into this company in the beginning was the English language. My father only spoke Russian, and most of our business partners in France didn't. So, in the beginning, I was primarily helping my father with translations. What's funny is that at the time I didn't speak Russian at all, so we were complementing each other nicely. When I first entered lambre, it was one big family of my father's friends. With time, when I began to work, we started meeting new partners, new markets, which were a little detached from our beginnings, from the first seminars and presentations of the company. It was very important to me that the company would be based on rules that resembled corporation. I wanted to create all this that I've learned during my MBA studies, like concerns that somebody would be studying about and saying they were successful because they did this and that. Whether it already worked out or would work out, that's something for us to find out yet. We've been building lambre for 20 years now. My father started it. Our next target for the next 20 years is to make the brand, which is already recognized in many countries, recognizable worldwide. We're expanding not only in Eastern countries, so to say the countries of the former Soviet Union, but we're also in India. We've started cooperation with Australia. We're present in the countries of the Middle East and European Union, and we're also in the middle of negotiations to enter both Americas, where lambre hasn't yet reached, but it's only a matter of time. So I think that the goal for the next 20 years for lambre to become an international brand is absolutely achievable and doable. We first started off as a perfumery company, then we started creating basic products for facial care, decorative cosmetics, and today we're expanding our influence in all cosmetics categories. We want to be present in all cosmetics categories, but not only. Lambre, in the years to come, will give our clients everything that they need at home. Everything they need for bodily care, not only for facial care. Thanks to the cooperation with Maciej Mongird, who has greatly developed cooperation with laboratories and is developing formulas that are far from cosmetology. Actually, I'd say they are on the verge of being medical products, and that's the direction in which lambre will be developing. We'll be taking care not only of beauty, but also of health. One of the elements which I like most about my job is that I work mainly with women. 98% of our business partners are women. Almost 100% of our clients are women. I'm lucky to be working with women and for women, and I'm glad that our company, the brand Lambre, helps them not only to care for their beauty, but also to earn them money, no matter where in the world they'd like to start their business.